Hello, everybody. We're going to wait about a minute, make sure we're all live. Live Accessible, hello. She says, hello, BTG. Hello to you.
Oh, hello, Live Accessible. I am new member. Hello. Is that Live Accessible or Live Accessible? Is she live or living? Very good. You like?
Well, she's not answering. She must be
She's
dead.
probably dead accessible then. Oh, very good. Oh, Bing. Very good. Bing.
Yeah, I mean, I can shut off this one, but then I've got like 5 others that'll probably go off.
But then you ruin my fun. Come on.
Oh, don't you worry. You can do it, and there'll be 5 others that go off. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this midweek episode of Blind Tech Guys. We're in here on the YouTube side. Not so sure we've even figured out if it's going to be released as a midweek or we're just going to leave it up on YouTube yet. But anyway, welcome, and we're glad that you're here. And today is Apple Day. We're here chomping on apples. Chomp, chomp. Today is the 20th of April, 2021. And we are here to talk about the Apple event that took place earlier today. And I'm joined with my buddy here, Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Well, Dennis was here, but anyway, he says hello, I think. And
hello there, Nimmer. How are you? It does help if I unmute the microphone.
Yes.
It does help if I unmute the microphone. Hello there, Marco. How are you?
All right. Well,
Oh,
Lord.
oh shit.
well, I've got my other buddy. He's in
Oh,
here.
well, I've got my microphone unmuted. Hello, everyone. I haven't been here for a while. What's this show called again? Is it
We're
blind
chomping on
Android
apples.
users or Apple blind users? Or what are you doing? What is this? Oh,
We're
blind tech guys.
Blind tech pooches, I
Oh,
think. Yes.
pooches. Yeah, I like that. Blind tech pooches. And hello, everyone. Yes, back from a vacation for, geez, it felt like it was not long enough, but it was actually 2 and a bit weeks, I think, Nim, in the end.
Yes, and he's a very
And
bad pooch. He was supposed to,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. What was it? You're supposed to wish me happy birthday or
Oh,
something.
happy birthday. I'll sing to you. You ready?
He's a very bad pooch.
Here we go. This is the first time I've ever sung on the podcast.
Oh,
Happy birthday to Nimmer. Happy birthday to Nimwinda. Happy birthday, dear Nimmer. Happy birthday to Nimmer.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Thank you.
there you
Thank
go.
Very good.
But no, it was a very nice vacation, and happy birthday, Nim. And, you know, when you come back, you sort of, you have a pile of crap that needs to get done. So it's kind of been like that over the last couple of days. But I'm glad to be back, and I have missed all of you guys. So good to be back.
Well, let's go ahead and get going then. We're going to talk about the Apple event, and as we do in BTG style for these types of things, we're going to go through the facts. I will
Facts?
go through. Yes,
Oh.
that's right. We're going to go through the event.
What about fiction?
talk-
Very good. Yeah.
We'll add that after the fact. You know.
Oh, cool.
We'll add in
Okay. That's
things.
discussion, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go through exactly what happened, all the different details, and regular tales and any other kind of tales, and you know, pooch tales. We'll talk about all the things that
Breathing
happened.
tales. Yeah.
That's right.
Very good.
We'll talk about all the things that happened during this event, and then we will talk a little bit about our views on this topic. And it looks like we have another mystery guest. That's interesting. Who could it be?
I can't add him.
It is Vroom Vroom. Hello, Vroom Vroom.
Oh, vroom vroom.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Hello there.
What?
Oh,
What
vroom
are you
vroom.
doing
You're
here?
sounding very clear.
Yeah, I mean, I just use from my PC right now.
Mm.
That's why.
Well, we're very glad that you're here to chat about Chomp Chomp Apple Land with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, vroom vroom. For those listeners, anyone new, where are you from?
I'm from India.
Ah, very good. And you're, of
Excellent.
course, a very big part of the Telegram group and also the YouTube side of it. So thanks to you for helping out.
Yes, and his name is Vron, but we call him Vroom Vroom because I couldn't pronounce his name when he first came in our Telegram group. So I
So
just
it's kinda
started calling
stuck.
him Vroom Vroom.
Yeah.
It's stuck. All right. Well, let's start off with the Apple news. And to start off with, the show started with a little bit of information about Apple Card, which is their version of a credit card. And it was kind of the bit they really rushed through and didn't really want to talk about. And they talked a little bit about how now the entire family can use it, 13 and up. And I don't know what happens if you're below 13, but if you're 13 and up, you can now use it.
Oh, well,
And
so we can have a
spouse-
new generation of debtors. Excellent. Very good.
Yes,
Starting from
yes.
13. Brilliant.
Yes. And your spouse now can use it, has full control as well, and they have full rights to build their credit as well. So you can have a shared Apple Card, apparently. So that's
Now, can
good.
this be used outside the US, Nim? For anyone that's interested?
I'm not sure if it's available outside the U.S., but it is available in the U.S. We'll have to look into that.
I don't think it is, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
All right.
So Apple Podcasts also received an update, and I actually got an email about this one. So there's a couple of new features. First of all, the app has kind of been redesigned a little bit. And the new podcast content creators have some new options. They can create channels, and channels are a type of a podcast, for example. So kind of like a category of podcasts. So you can create new channels.
Okay,
And you
so
can
you
also
basically
set
you
up-
could have, like, for example, with our podcast, we could have 5 separate channels. Say, for example, a Did You Know channel, or
That's right.
I don't know. We're talking about settings at the moment, so a settings channel. So
That's right.
kind of cool.
And you can also set up subscriptions. So for a fee, of course, a yearly fee, you can, Apple will charge you a certain price. And if you pay them that price, then you can start charging users a fee. And users can either pay monthly or however you set it up annually. And for that price, you can offer whatever you'd like. You can provide extra content. You can provide extra, a separate podcast altogether. You can do whatever. You can do ad-free. You can do whatever you'd like. And it's similar
so
to
it's-
services offered by like Podfan or
Yeah, I was
something
going to say it's
that,
like a
but-
monetization type of scenario, I'm guessing, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know some podcast hosts
I think it's
already
kind of
do
like
that.
YouTube membership, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
like a
yeah,
Patreon or something
Podfan,
like that. Yeah,
Patreon, all those sorts of services, yeah.
that's right.
And how much are they charging for this lovely service that they're offering? Any idea?
It wasn't announced on their YouTube, so
funny that.
we'll have to see. I think it's something like I don't know, probably $100 or something a year. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. And
How
it may
much is
depend on the number of
$100 in
subscribers.
your money over there, Tech Explorers or Vroom Vroom?
Well, it's 7,500
Notification from
something
Category Daniel
rupees.
sent a voice message to Salman's Gang 2.0.
7,500 rupiah?
Yeah, about that price.
That's a lot of rupees.
Not accurate, but
Ay.
I wonder when you go to count, you say 1, 2, 3. It's kind of hard. You got to carry all those in your pocket.
we got, the $2,000 rupees. Oh, sorry, 2,000 rupees.
$2,000 rupiahs? Jeez, that's a high
No,
valued
no.
rupiah. Wow.
No. I just have mistake with it. It's just a note, kind of like a bill, and it's
Oh, Bill. I like bills. Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
the 2,000 is almost like a $20 bill, I'd imagine. Something like that, I'd say.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
It's so nice to hear the whole group. Yes, thank you. You live accessible.
Oh, Live
glad
Accessible,
to be
yes. Lovely to have you
here.
around,
Maybe
and you
it's a
should
little
join
less
us.
boring.
Yeah, you should join us, and then we could really be the blind tech gals and guys. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll have to change the name. I came up with a
Yeah.
few good ideas. Blind tech goons.
I don't know about
maybe.
the goons, yeah. I don't know
I
about
don't know.
dudes, though.
Yeah. Well, we have a new iPhone color. So if you're a fan of purple, you can now order a new iPhone in the color purple.
Oh, I love purple.
Yes. And so this color will be available to pre-order this Friday, I believe, and available on the 30th.
Oh, happy days.
You can get your purple colored iPhone if you like, and that's for the iPhone 12.
Oh, good. So I've got one already, so should I just order a new one? Because I
With
like
those
purple
of
so
the
much.
12 Mini as well.
Why don't you buy me one? You can buy me one. How about that?
I'll buy a Robert one. Robert, you like?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, now we get to the serious announcements. Those are kind of the little toy announcements at the beginning that didn't really, who cares? So now we get to the serious stuff. The Find My feature, they talked about that, how they're able to help people find their items, and they don't even necessarily have to be Apple items. And now they're adding this new thing called AirTags. Now, if you're used to one called Tile, which is a lot of people know about them, or the Samsung tags, or so a lot of these companies make these as little tiny things that you can put on a keychain, and usually they can make a sound or Bluetooth or whatever it is, and they help you find items. But Apple is, taking their little spin and have introduced these AirTags, and you can personalize them. You can even put emojis on them if you like. You can find the items that you attach the AirTags to using precision finding, using the camera of your iPhone, using other sensors on the iPhone. They have protections just in case someone is trying to track you, unwanted tag detection, which is good. Some kind of an audible alert from an unknown tag, which is probably good too. They are selling these for $29 per tag, and you can get a 4-pack for $100 US.
Sheesh, that's cheap.
For Apple, yeah, I would say so.
That's
looks
real
like we have
cheap.
Let's see, we have another guest in here.
Yeah, who's this bloke? I haven't spoken to him for a while.
Yeah, who is this bloke? Sorry, all. I had to go. I had to go put clothes on.
Oh, yeah, turn that blender on. Yeah, very good.
And now our whole YouTube channel knows that Kurt
Wow.
was putting clothes on.
Very good. So, hold on a sec. The priority was putting clothes on over being on time.
I mean, isn't that what you guys would want the priority to
Well,
be?
If it
No,
was
if
me,
you
I
got-
would have turned on the camera. We might have picked up a few more ladies. I don't know.
Oh, very good. Well, welcome, Kurt, and it's good to have
Welcome,
you
Kurt.
on here as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
the
apparently with
AirTags,
these... Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
they're priced the same as, by the way, for anybody wondering, they're priced the same as the 4-pack for the Tile. I just went and looked. So Apple really did it right with the 4-pack, or the pack of 4 for $100. They're priced the same as the Tile.
Yeah.
Now, what
let's
I wanna
get through
know
all
is-
these announcements here
Before we chat about that, I just want to quickly ask: are they super thin?
Apparently they're thin. Yeah. Apparently they're small, thin little things that you can attach to keys or luggage. They talk about attaching it to luggage.
Oh wow, that's
So-
amazing.
Now, does it have a sticky back? Because it acted like you could put it like on a wallet. So I would think it'd have to have some kind of
No,
sticky.
but you can put like double-sided tape. It's not going to be a sticky back. You can put double-sided tape if you like, or you can put
Attach it to
can
your
attach
child.
it to a keychain, or
Very good.
yeah, you don't want to have a device that you can just stick something. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
these things are available on beginning Friday, April 30th. That's when the orders can be placed for these things, and you can get those things at that time. Then they went on to talk about the new Apple 4K, Apple TV 4K. It has an A12 Bionic, so similar chip that is found in the iPhones. HDR, they're talking about high dynamic frame rates, have enhanced HDR. They have a new feature for colored balance where you can use color balance to improve the image that's coming out of the TV. You can use your iPhone's camera, apparently, as well as other sensors,
Wow.
such as the light and proximity sensors to improve the color of your TV. There's a new remote, apparently, that has some nice new control type features, including the little 5-way rocker thing is now swipeable,
cool.
touchable.
And
so
it's
you
got
can-
an on and off button. Excellent.
And yes, there's an on and off button, so you can turn on and off your TV with it. Yes, that's a new
Yeah.
feature. It's a very innovative feature.
Is it accessible?
Well, we hope so. But so this thing is going to be available for pre-order at April 30th and available to actually get at the end of May. Latter end of May.
Wow. So you got to wait a month for your remote
Yes, and your Apple TV.
and your
apparently.
Apple TV. Wow. Okay. Must be good.
And the pricing for this deal is going to be $179 for 32 gig. If you pay $20 more, you get $199. I mean, you get 64 gigs for $199. So I'm not quite sure why anyone would ever get
Why
the 32.
would she get the 32 gig?
But
seems pointless.
let's, we'll share our thoughts. We keep saying that and we keep jumping in anyway. New iMac. We have a new iMac. And iMac, for anyone that does not know, is sort of like the desktop version. It's an all-in-one. It's the computer within a monitor that's just kind of an all-in-one type deal. And this device that they've got is very pretty. It comes in a lot of different new
Yes.
colors.
And can I
really
just jump
pretty
in,
looks.
Nimmer, and say that there's some really good wording in this about the iMac. Super slim.
Yes,
And
very
apparently the
super
best
slim.
Bluetooth speakers, microphones, and camera.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that here. So they
Yeah.
started really out by talking about its looks. It will look very, very pretty, and the sides are invisible, or close
Invisible?
to it.
Invisible, huh?
Close to it. Yep, close to it.
Well, it would
close
be to me.
being
I
invisible.
can't see. Yes.
And the back, which apparently a lot of people look at, the back is very colorful. It's very, very colorful.
Right.
Okay then.
All right.
Oh dear.
So
Maybe I should face the back forwards then, so that we can get the full spectrum of how beautiful it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my laptop around now and see if I can use it that way.
So because of the new processor, they've made a lot of the internals quite a bit smaller. So it has two small fans instead of the large heat sink and everything else, which makes it very quiet, generally under 10 decibels when in
Gee.
normal use.
That's good for when you're podcasting.
Yes. So 24-inch display, very nice screen, low reflectability. The iMac camera has been improved, very much improved. Has a bigger sensor. It's the best camera ever put into an iMac.
Well, funny that.
It's also the mics have also been improved. They're much better mics with beam forming. Best mic system ever put into an iMac. The speakers have been improved. They're very, very accurate. There are 6 speakers.
Do you
They
think
have
those
really-
microphones pick up on breathing very well?
Well, if they've got 6 of them, you just
We'll have to get
never
Dennis
know.
one, and he'll test it out for us. Not kidding, Dennis. Oh my!
So if you've got 6 speakers, is that like surround sound in a mini package?
So they did talk about spatial audio. So there is spatial audio. Has great bass response, and so yeah, the best speakers ever put into an iMac.
Funny that, yeah. Very good.
4.5.
And one of the things it did say too, with the speakers, that it's careful not to put through too much bass.
Uh-huh. So there's a 4.5K display, which is
The
really,
best
really
ever
good
put in an
display.
iMac?
Yes, very, very nice. The Mac wakes almost instantly. You can have hundreds of tabs open at once in Safari. They really emphasized the new M1 chip. It has It is 85% faster than the previous Mac.
Oh, wow.
For the CPU benchmarks anyway. 2 times faster in terms of GPU. 50% faster than the fastest older iMac, the iMac 21. iPhone and iPad apps will run on this new iMac because of the new processor. It has USB 4.0 Thunderbolt ports. It has this new fashion of power adapter that lets you run different types of peripherals. For example, we're talking about how the Ethernet runs and goes through the power adapter, and with some new dongle adapter type thing.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a new Magic Keyboard.
Sorry to interrupt, Nimmer, but I'm guessing that the new adapter is probably their own proprietary connection, so you can't use it anywhere else.
As far as I know, I think it's USB-C, but I'm not sure.
Oh, good. Excellent.
We're not talking about the iPad yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's USB-C. But there's a new Magic Keyboard. There's new keys on this Magic Keyboard.
They still haven't given up on that Magic Keyboard, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some new keys on it to control different things, and there's one that has a Touch ID as well. So there's different models of the Magic Keyboard.
I wonder if the current keys work any better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might have to get
all
one
these
to test
accessories, like there's, they were talking about all these different accessories. There's like a mouse too, and all these different things. Anyway, the new iMac starts at $1299, so $1,299.
Oh,
And which actually is a great price for an iMac.
that isn't bad, actually. That's relatively reasonable.
Yep. It is available for pre-orders on the 30th of April, is available second half of May, just like these other products. And then we get to the iPad Pro. It has the M1 chip, probably customized for the iPad, but still the M1 chip, very powerful. They made a huge deal about this, 50% faster than last iPad Pro that they put out. 40% faster graphics performance. 4 speakers, has haptics. Fastest iPad that's ever been released. All-day battery life. 2 times faster storage, with an option of 2 terabytes of storage if you'd like that. It does have USB-C Thunderbolt.
Oh, it does.
With USB 4 support, up to 40 gigabits per second for the USB.
Now we're starting to talk something that I'm interested in.
iPad Pro has 5G. They really emphasize the 5G. Has 5G.
Finally.
3.5 gigabits per second for most of the world, with 4 gigabits per second here in the US with the addition of millimeter wave. Pro cameras, has excellent camers.
I'm guessing they're the best cameras ever in an iPad.
Oh yes, they're talking about all the changes they made to their cameras. It has studio mics apparently.
Studio mics,
quality mics.
What, they ripped them out of a studio.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
studio quality mics. Has LiDAR scanner, which is really good. They were talking about architects who might use it, or for someone like wanting to look at their living room and figure out a couch that might fit or something like that. I'm not sure anyone actually uses these apps.
Yeah,
Yeah, or blind people if you want to be walking around the street with your big, huge iPad. Pro.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
That would have
it's
been
really great
funnier.
for. Yeah, maybe. Well, it's great for low light. The front camera's been improved. It has Face ID. There's also ultra wide camera that supports 123 degrees field of view, which is quite
Sheesh.
wide.
It's better than my field of view. Wow. Excellent.
Center stage is kind of this new feature they were talking about, where if someone's in the view, it'll actually move around with them. So if they move, then the camera pans and moves with them, the focus. And if
that's
other
kinda
people
useful.
join them, yeah, and if other people join in, the camera will also match and pan for those people as well. Can zoom into other people as well.
That would be interesting for those of us who do like to take the occasional shot to maybe be a bit more accurate, I guess. That could be
Yes.
quite useful.
They were talking about how the displays are the absolute most advanced displays with,
for sure.
with the 12.9-inch iPad has 5.6 million colors, and the 11
they count them all?
inch
That's a
has
lot of
4
colors.
million.
I wonder if they counted them all.
Yeah.
Sat there and went 5 million. Oh, don't
these are
talk to
still
me. I've just
LCD
lost count, you
screens, right?
wanker.
Oh my god. Wow.
The 12.9-inch screen has XDR, which is allowing it to get really bright, up to 1600
What does that stand
nits.
for those listeners that don't know what XDR is, Nim?
High dynamic range, or like an extreme dynamic range, whatever the...
Why XDR then? Why not call it
it's,
HDR?
Yeah,
It's very,
like
very,
most of
very
us do.
bright. Very, very bright. 1600 nits.
Wow. Nits. You don't want that.
And they were talking about all the technologies that they use to make it. They were talking about how this thing has 10,000 LEDs, mini LEDs. They created a whole new type
Wow.
of LED.
How on earth they gotta count that?
I'm guessing that they're using Samsung displays, but you know, Apple. They
Oh,
kind of
that
like
is
to-
dodgy. Here comes a court suit. Ay, ay, ay.
Anyway, 10,000 these mini little LEDs.
Oh, that's a lot of
They were
light.
talking about some additions to their new accessories. We're almost done here, and then we'll really get into our thoughts. New languages, 5 new of them have been added to the Apple
Which ones
Pencil.
do you know?
No idea. There's a new color out for their Magic Keyboard. Again, not sure what the color is. New pricing for the iPad starts at $799 for the iPad 11-inch.
Did we lose Nimmer?
$1,099 for the 12.9-inch iPad. Pre-order April 30th. Available second half of May.
I better get a Mac then, MacBook, rather than this iPad. See?
Well, at least you'll get the iMac quicker, I suppose.
Probably.
Let's look at these comments, and then we'll get into our thoughts. Your own pay. The Apple Podcasters program, which includes all of the tools needed to offer premium subscriptions on Apple Podcasts, is available to creators in 170 countries and regions for $19.99 US per year.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No.
Live Accessible says, I think I might get one of the newest iPad Pros. That's pretty cool. Your own pay, I'm going to address your point, and then we'll just generally start at the top and go through our thoughts.
Yeah.
But to this idea of the podcast thing, since that's kind of one of the first things they talked about, yeah, $19.99 per year doesn't sound bad, except that the only reason you would ever want to use this is if you're really being exclusive to Apple Podcasts.
Correct. Exactly right.
Because most podcasters are silly to do that. They would not choose to do that. I'm not going to choose to do that. But if you want to do that, then and you're willing to just go through the podcast, the Apple Podcast route, and you want to pay for this, then you're locking people in. You're saying, yep, we're going to, for Apple Podcasts that is not available on Android or any other platform, that you're going to, pay for these subscriptions, and you have to pay Apple tax for being able to offer that kind of thing. It's not something I'm interested in. If they opened it up, they said we're going to create an Android Apple Podcast app, and we're going to have a Windows app, and we're going to do all these things.
Yeah, if it was open
Maybe.
source, so to speak, yeah. If they did that, but and that's why people like Patreon or Podfan or any of these other ones, because they're not exclusive, and this is the big problem. Like if you look at, even for us, Nim, I'm sure that our Apple side of things is definitely a reasonable proportion of our audience, but you're then locking out the other 40%.
Yeah.
So it's silliness, absolute silliness to go down that route, unless you just want to broadcast to Apple fanboys, I suppose.
And the other thing is
Essentially.
that I don't know, and I'm not so sure that anyone really has an answer about, and maybe they do, and maybe I just missed it, is you pay this price, this $19 price, but does Apple also then take a cut out of every subscription?
Oh, I
So
would think
if a
they
user
would.
Probably,
gives
yeah.
$5, how much
I
do
reckon
you
they
make
would.
as a podcaster?
Yeah, Do you then lose like
50%?
10 or 15 cents out of the $5 exactly? So yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, this particular one. And it's not because I'm not an Apple person. It's because I don't like services that lock people into things.
Yeah.
No.
And so I'm just not a huge fan of this. And I don't know that other podcasters will be. Maybe they will if they just focus on Apple.
Sure.
But yeah, we're certainly not going to do that.
I
unless
would
they
honestly
open
be
things
very
up.
surprised if any major podcaster would go
Yeah,
down
me
this
as
route.
well.
There's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason. Why would you lock out the rest of your audience? Just doesn't make any sense.
Now, if they're going to make Apple Podcasts, like you said, available on Android, Windows, then it makes sense to maybe do it. But until that happens,
Yeah.
Live accessible. Apple
Yeah,
tags
great.
look smaller than Tile. Yeah, they are. Tile's kind of the older tech.
Yeah.
And yeah, they are a bit smaller, but there's a lot of these out there. So there's not just Tile. There's Samsung's. There's
Samsung's
a
got
lot of
one.
different companies
Yeah.
make these things.
Yeah.
So it's about comparing them, and I think about the ecosystem that you find yourself in. So again, if you're in Apple land and you have an iPhone and you're stuck in Apple land, then this is a great thing. If you have an Android, you have another type of device, any other type of device, they're locking you out. Unfortunately, you can't use these, which is silly. They could make a huge market out of these things if only they opened themselves up to other, platforms. But
well, they can
Oh,
make a Find My app for Android,
Oh, they
and
totally could.
allow
And-
you to find them.
Your own pay provides more information. See, he's dug into this a little bit. It's not something I'm interested in, so I certainly didn't. But looks like here, Apple Podcast subscriptions, podcast creators will set the pricing from 49 cents and up, receiving 70% of the subscription revenue each billing cycle.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Sheesh.
oh.
Sheesh. 30%. You're losing 30% out of your subscribers.
Now that
And that's in its
it-
first year, and then after that, it's 85%.
Yeah, well,
wow.
no, forget it. That is
What do
disgraceful.
they take? What do they take for apps in the App Store? I'm trying to.
30%, I think.
30%, so they're
Okay.
basically
Same
following
thing.
that line. That's terrible.
And this
Wow.
isn't confirmed information, it looks like. So, just take that for a grain of salt. Somebody that's not authorized to comment, apparently, but it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
not-
if that's
it's
the
not
case, that
confirmed
is
information.
not
But
good.
I'm not going to have a podcast that they're charging me, in addition to the cost of each subscription, are also charging me $20 a year. It doesn't sound like much, but
Yeah.
$20 a year plus the 30%, ching, ching,
It's
chong,
already
ching,
adding
chong.
up.
Now,
Absolutely.
maybe there are people who are going to do this though, and maybe
Sure.
if enough people in iOS land start thinking this is where I have to go to get my podcasts from,
Yeah, but there are a lot of Android phones. There's a lot of Windows users. There's a lot of other platforms. And the thing is that unless you're creating a podcast just for Apple users, I can't see this really. I don't know. We'll have to see. I just can't. I don't know. I
honestly
can't
think-
imagine it taking off.
Yeah. I honestly think this is going to go down the same line as what the Apple TV subscription thing did, which
Yeah.
is basically crashed and died, and everyone pretty much thinks is a joke. I honestly really
Yeah.
don't think this is going to go anywhere.
I mean, probably. I was just,
Yeah. Especially when you start saying to creators, and again, as Nima said before, we don't know if this is, 100% accurate information, but if you're losing 30% plus $20 a year, that's a lot of dollare.
Well,
to,
yeah,
Their
I
own
mean,
page says apps the same thing, and he also
Yeah.
says that they won't be doing it. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah.
Apple Card, I don't know. We kind of already shared our feelings. We weren't supposed to, but we kind of did. Yeah, I think, allowing people to use it is good and teaching people how to use it is good. But yeah, I just wonder, 13, 14, is that too young
Yeah.
to be handing someone a credit card? You can set spending limits.
yeah.
So maybe it's a
Sure,
good
but
tool to teach.
How many
things.
adults
I don't
aren't
know,
very
but-
good at setting, like, with the technology side of things? And I don't know. I think it's a
Right.
slippery slope, to be honest with
It may
you.
be a
I
good
don't
tool
like
for
it.
budgeting. I'm not sure, but
Sure.
we'll see. Is that something that you guys are, the listeners, or you guys are interested in something like that, or would you give
And the
your
other
kid
thing
a
also with the Apple,
credit card?
this Apple Card, I mean, how many other cards are there available around the world that do pretty much the same sort of thing?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's... I don't know. They talked about this a year or two back, and it's just another thing in my mind that really hasn't gone anywhere, especially outside the US. So
I think it's kind of a cool. It's like a metal card, doesn't have the actual number on it. Like it has some interesting features, but I don't know. I don't know. But again, it kind of ties you to Apple. You're not going to use it outside of Apple.
It's part of the ecosystem.
Part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
New iPhone color. I'm not sure anyone has anything much to say about that. I'm not a purple fan. I'm not going to go out and pre-order it. And there's nothing new. So if you want the new color, get it. But other than that, don't go get it thinking you're getting anything new. The AirTags, they're kind of cool. We commented on those. I think that's a good price for those.
Yeah, that is decent. That's reasonable.
Really good price for those, and pretty small, pretty worthwhile getting. I don't like them limiting you to their ecosystem, but I still think they're good, So if you are an Apple user, definitely look into them. Apple TV, it's a good upgrade. I don't know why we waited so long to get 4K, but
that's
we got
just
4K
taken
now.
forever. That's literally taken 3 years longer than what it should have, or 2 years longer than what it should have. But anyway.
Color balance looks interesting. The new remote, I just couldn't believe they were advertising a power button to turn off your TV.
That's hilarious.
I couldn't believe it.
That's why I couldn't help making that comment. I'm like, wow.
I know it's a feature, but I can't believe we're now talking about adding a power button to the remote, and this is a new feature.
Apple, the
Leave it to
innovative
Apple,
company that just create. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I have a remote here that has a power button. Whoops.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the old Apple TV is sort of gone a little bit backwards. It used to be a damn good product, but now you've got Google and you've got all sorts of other ones. So I don't know.
Your own pay gotta go. Thanks for the show. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Live accessible 30%. They take 30% of super chats and stickers. Yeah, I'm not opposed to the price. What I'm opposed to is the price, and on top of that, you pay a yearly fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that
one or the other.
That I don't like. I have no opposition. Every payment processing service takes some kind of payment in return for, having you charge users. I have no reason to. I have no problem with it. Thanks for your content, Google Docs and Gmail. Yep, you're very welcome. Glad that you're following us. Live accessible. Ooh, I should be on this pod. A new color is important. Yeah.
Well, we welcome you to come into StreamYard. I think Nema put the link up on Telegram. We've got a few minutes left, so if you want to pop on at the end of the show, why not? We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into a discussion about color, okay?
No, because otherwise I might mute for, the rest of the show, you like? Now, the other thing I just wanted to bring up, and I think out of all of this, and I'm being a little bit facetious, I guess, with some of my comments throughout the show, but out of all of this, I think the most, or the item that I'm mostly interested in here is the iPad. That actually does sound like a reasonable update.
Yeah.
I don't know what you boys think, but that's probably the only one that I'm really that interested in here.
I gotta tell you, if I was in the market for a premium desktop computer, I'd probably be looking at that iMac right now. I'm not saying I'd buy it, but it looks like...
Yeah, I agree with Kurt.
Yeah, I would much rather get the iMac than the iPad.
Than the iPad. Oh, really? See, I'm not a Mac user.
Not a Mac user, but you're getting the same... Yeah. You're getting a better chip. You're getting... Everything is better for $200 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you are getting on this iPad for $1,099.
Yeah, and I agree. That's quite expensive for what they.
$1,100 for this iPad, and the best thing that they can mention about it is it's got 5G. I'm not really impressed with the iPad. Comparing it to last year's iPad, it is faster, but every year it's faster.
Sure.
Yeah, it's got
USB-C,
USB-C, but I think last year's had USB-C, right?
It did, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So, what I don't really,
and that's what I'm saying. I'm not taking a huge amount.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
LiDAR,
I'm not taking a huge amount away
LiDAR.
from the show, from the Apple show. But as I said, I'm not a Mac user, so for me, I've got no interest in that side of things. If I was going to pick something that might interest me, would probably be the iPad, and that would be about it. And maybe the tiles. Actually, the tiles are pretty good.
The
I'm just
Apple
trying to
TV
figure out
and
what's
the
new
Tile
from
is
last year's
interesting.
iPad to this year's iPad.
Yeah, probably not a huge amount, to be honest. Oh, except for
Because
the
last
5G.
year's had USB-C. Last year's had a nice, pretty display. Last year's had the LiDAR
Yeah,
and the
but
camera.
it didn't have 5G. Come on.
Yeah.
But it
That's
didn't
very
have 5G. So
And right now, almost every
the chip, I guess. The chip is new. The
The
M1.
chip is
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can see how if you're like a power user, maybe that would make some difference, but
Yeah.
Actually, I think last year's iPad's a pretty good buy. You're probably better off getting last year's one and forgetting this year's, to be honest, if you
Yeah.
want to be completely frank about it all. But that's up to you listeners, I suppose.
This iMac thing, I think a lot of iMac users got an iMac because of like the best components ever. And I think it's rather risky releasing this thing with its limited app support.
yeah.
Because the thing is, when you have an M1 chip, you're really limited in apps that you can run because of what's been ported over to run on that platform. You can run all the iPhone and iPad stuff, true, but you can't really run a lot of the desktop type apps unless they've been ported over. And there are a good lot of them that still have not been ported over. Especially, it depends on like powerhouse apps, the really powerhouse apps that people running iMacs were running, and developer tools and some of these things that maybe not ported over yet. I don't know if people are going to be rushing out to buy these or not. Maybe. It'll be interesting.
I certainly won't be, but I mean, I'm sure there's much bigger Apple fanboys than me that may well do. I don't know. Maybe
Because the
maybe
M1's
not.
powerful. It is a powerful
Sure,
chip.
it's powerful,
And
but-
and it's better that it's kicking Intel's ass.
Yeah. Well, everyone is right now.
Everyone is right now. But the thing about Intel is it's pretty universal and a lot of things work with it.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if you still get busy when you're running Safari.
well, this thing says you can run hundreds of apps. It doesn't say
sure.
anything about we've optimized VoiceOver to work with hundreds of apps or hundreds of tabs rather.
Right, very good.
Hundreds of apps.
I don't know. I'm not. To be perfectly frank, I'm really not that excited about it at all, and I'm being a little harsh, but I'm really not that excited
I
about
don't think so.
any of it. To be frank, and I'm glad I was having a good old sleep.
Live
That's just my opinion.
accessible. It says you can't carry around an iMac. Yeah, that's true. That is true, but I still, if I'm
Yeah,
going
and I
to pay
don't need
that
a
price to
desktop.
carry around something, I'm going to get a laptop. Maybe.
And I do
don't know.
agree with live accessible. I don't know. I don't need a desktop. I don't know. I would rather have
I
a
would get a
MacBook
laptop
Pro
instead.
or a
Well,
laptop. Yeah.
And for not that much more, you've got that MacBook Pro, which
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
I'm saying. I don't really. Yeah, it doesn't really compare. No, they're different devices. You're right. I'm not saying that an iMac is the same as an iPad. I'm in no way saying that. What I am saying is getting those two devices side by side, it depends on your needs. But for me, I would rather have the more flexibility of having the iMac just because it's a more flexible type tool. No, you can't carry it around, but you can do quite a lot more with it. You can do a lot with an iPad. But then you're also going to then need to buy the Magic Keyboard, and then you're going to need to buy the adapters that and you only get one USB-C port, so you're really limited.
But you could
as
have the same
compared to an
argument.
iMac.
You could have the same argument though, Nim, and say that why bother getting a Samsung tablet when you can get yourself a laptop or a desktop?
I would agree.
mean,
I would agree. Right.
it's kind of a.
Absolutely. You
I
can't.
It
would
depends
agree.
on what your needs
it's
are,
exactly the same argument. I would say,
Yeah.
why get the tablet if you can get the laptop with the keyboard? Particularly now for a low vision user, you want the screen, you want the bigger screen. But for a blind user, I see very little to no benefit to getting a larger surface screen without the keyboard. And so then you're going to want to buy the keyboard. And if you're buying the keyboard and now you have all of a sudden two devices, then why not just get the one device?
Yeah.
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 I guess it depends on what your needs are.
Okay, but
And
my,
what
my
you're
thing
gonna be
is,
doing.
Probably.
you get that
Wish there's
13-inch
these
MacBook.
convertibles,
Yeah. Sorry, Varun.
Yeah, just talking about these convertibles where you can just convert them to laptop and tablets easily.
Yeah.
Too much.
I mean, and really think about it. That you can get that MacBook Pro for there's a 13-inch MacBook Pro now. This iPad Pro has what, a 12 something inch touch, or 12-inch
12
touch
point.
screen. It's like, yeah, the
There's not much
MacBook Pro is
difference.
more expensive, sure.
By $100.
Yes, and
Well,
then when you
that's not too
factor in
much.
the accessories, and
Yeah, the MacBook Pro is only $100 more, but for that price, you get the keyboard, you get the, you get the extra ports.
Yeah.
and it's
You get
not
the
that
more
much less
usability.
portable,
No.
Yeah.
Live accessible. That's the point of the iPad. A lot of people just want to watch YouTube and do social media. That's exactly true. And I'm saying for a low vision user, maybe it's worth it. But if you want it all, you're going to be using a Magic Keyboard. Or if you want the smaller iPad, also, if you want the smaller iPad, maybe it makes a little bit more financial sense.
yeah.
Sure.
But if you want this 12.9 iPad and you're going to consider buying a keyboard or anything like that, or you're going to do any kind of productivity, then you definitely don't. I think you're better off getting the MacBook Pro.
Now, I've got to say, as a totally blind person, I've got an iPad, and I have always disliked using it, just because it's got. I mean, I like screen real estate, but that thing's just a pain in the neck.
It's
to be
too
honest with you,
much for me as
For
well.
a totally, it's just annoying. So,
Well,
and
and
I can completely appreciate for a low vision person, and that's where I agree with
Yeah.
you. Live accessible, definitely. If you're just doing your Facebooks and you're, messaging what here, there, wherever, yeah, it makes sense. But for a totally blind person, it can be, and it's not for all of totally blind people, but for me personally, it's annoying. I
Yeah,
find
for
it
me too.
frustrating.
I would agree. And if you're going to use
I
it as
would
a
agree.
streaming device, that is a very expensive streaming device. Maybe the iPad Mini or one of the smaller ones that they're rumored to be coming out with. That would be
Well,
something.
if you want the screen real estate, you don't want to get an iPad Mini.
No.
I mean, at that point,
if
you've
you
got
want-
a phone that can do. I
Yeah.
don't know.
If you're going to get an iPad Mini, you might as well use the largest phone that they've got on offer, and there's really not that much difference in the screen real estate. It's basically the
Right.
same.
Yeah.
It's pretty much
And
the
I
same.
mean-
Maybe get some gaming phones like from Black Shark or something.
Well, and my thing is, if you're wanting something, and I get what you're saying, that that a lot of people just want something to do simple things and stream from and all that. Chromebooks exist. Like
Yep.
But if
Yeah,
you
a
want
lot
to
of
be
people
in the
don't know that,
Apple
though.
ecosystem, though,
right.
You've got to remember, Kurt, that people are very fanboyish about all sorts of different products. So to say to somebody that's in the Apple ecosystem, oh, Chromebooks exist, they don't even look at that. It's
No,
it's got to be something that's in that zone. Do you know what I
I
mean?
understand, but
Yeah.
that just seems like you're cheating consumers.
Oh, no, I
Like,
agree. But, I mean, it's just the way people are,
Well,
I
I,
was
think
one
it's
of them
fair
once.
to say that. I think it's fair to say that on here we're kind of mixed as to these announcements. Some of them
Yeah.
we think are pretty good, and others we kind of don't. We kind of laugh at or don't see the value of. But we want to make sure that you have the facts so that you know exactly what happened, and then also just get our opinions. And I think we've done that. So
yeah.
we can definitely stay on here and chat. Maybe we'll just call this one a day. And
There
wanna
is
thank
one
you
We'll
more
call
guys.
this a day. We'll call this a day after Dennis makes you a comment. Sorry,
Yeah.
go, Dennis.
yeah, there is one more thing I want to add. I was doing reading while we were talking up on Applevis, and they had a post that talked about this, and apparently the battery is removable for the AirTags and replaceable by the user.
Oh.
Yes, but now what is the process for removing that battery?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
Every battery is removable and replaceable by the user. It just depends on how much effort you really want to put into it, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's something as simple as a cover, you pop it off, and you take the
Oh,
battery
I
out. you
don't
put
see
the
it
new
being
one
that
in.
simple.
I reckon
but,
it won't
you
be
know.
that simple somehow. I reckon it'll be involve a couple of screws. So the
Much
side
more harder.
Yeah.
Otherwise others can just turn it off and
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it'll be a bit more difficult.
Live
than that,
accessible,
unfortunately.
guys. I understand your points. I'm not sure we understand our points, and I think we all have a little bit of disagreement.
Yeah, I
so,
think
you
we're
know,
all
it's-
sort of. I think we're all sort of a little bit undecided. Really,
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those announcements where we're sort of going. I really want to like something out of this, but I'm really not completely sold.
Well, and look, it's
I don't know.
obviously better than, like, if someone wants an iPad and they're willing to pay the premium, like, it's going to be a better iPad, no question.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we might stay on here and chat a bit, but if you guys want to come on and join us, we'll post that link maybe in the Telegram. But I want to thank you guys for joining us on this YouTube stream, and we'll be back here for the Samsung event, or at least some of us, or one of us, or many of us might be next week, I think, the Samsung event.
Are we going to release this as a pod or not?
I don't know.
I guess
that
we
decided
probably
yet.
should. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Stay tuned anyway. Look out for it. We'll see.
If it comes as a pod, you'll find out. And if it doesn't,
we'll
then you're on here YouTube watching it. So
Absolutely.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. This has been fun. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Dennis. And we'll see you on Sunday. And by the way, we will have NV Access on.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah, that will be
And
good.
so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Share it out with your friends. Let everyone know. Hit the like button. And also, we will talk a little bit more about our giveaway at that time, too.
Ooh,
So-
yeah, very nice.
And our
I only
party
found out
on
about the
30th.
giveaway overnight too, by the way. Thank you very much for that, lads. That was good.
Same
Can we
here.
win?
Yes. Well, I'm entered in like 20 times. So, you know.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you very much, Nimmer. It's great to be back, boys, and I will catch you all on the weekend.
Absolutely.
All
Good
right.
to talk to you
Bye,
again,
guys.
Marco.
New notification from Twitter.